This video is a production of the YouthQuest Foundation, serving America's at-risk youth.
Back in 1992, we were working with an at-risk program called the Youth Challenge Program, run by the National Guard. And that program was underfunded. And when we found out that some of the programs were having difficulty getting to academic events because they couldn't lease buses to attend, we decided we would start a foundation to help these programs, to aid these kids in getting the academic support that they needed, as well as provide them opportunities for scholarships and job skills training. So that was really how we got started. It was sort of grassroots. So we were holding events and just giving the money to the programs, and then we realized that we really needed to become certified by the IRS.
So we decided that we needed to establish a 501c3, and really it is a very arduous task. There's a lot of paperwork that has to be filled out, and we were fortunate enough to file it the first time and get approved. So that sort of laid the foundation for us to be able to meet the statutory requirements of being a 501c3. And we've just grown from there, trying to raise money different ways, get corporate sponsorships, things that we can make a difference in these kids' lives.
Well, people often ask me why YouthQuest does what it does. And the answer to that is pretty simple. 30% of our kids have dropped out of high school since 1970. And that number it's changed by 1% or 2, but really not so much. And affiliated with that is about 68% of our prison population is made up of high school dropouts. And so when you look at the problem that we have in terms of the lost potential of these kids, as well as the tax burden for the incarceration of high school dropouts, which the high school dropouts alone account for about $537 billion across the nation at all levels. And that doesn't include other social services for their families, like welfare and that kind of thing. And so we're looking at trying to resolve a little bit of these issues where we work with the kids, or we want to intervene with the kids at the point where they've decided to drop out, but before they've done something stupid that gets them into the justice system, and help redirect them to job skills training, or get them in school, or get them back into high school. Those are the programs that we want to support, that get these kids back on track and have them become a productive citizen instead of one that's drawing from the tax base.
Yeah, I think it's very important, based on our life experiences. We've seen a lot of different cultures in the world. We've traveled. I spent 24 years on active duty, 18 years here in this business, and it's very important to give back. There's a lot of good programs out there that benefit these kids, but there's just not enough money to find it. So we think it's very important to raise money and give back to these kids. Over the 18 years AOC has been in business, we've been very fortunate and have a lot of contacts in the industry across the United States, in the banking industry, and over 35,000 clients that we have. In saying that, I have contact with a lot of high-level individuals, and it gives me an opportunity to speak about our passion of raising money for these kids in these programs throughout the United States. So it gives me my lecture box, if you will, or my foundation, to speak to a lot of different influential people that can help our program and grow the cause.
As YouthQuest has evolved, we've moved from just providing funding for scholarships and vocational training, and we've actually moved into helping kids think differently. We have focused predominantly on STEM education opportunities now. That's science, technology, engineering, and math, because we feel that these are the skills that are necessary to take every child forward, regardless of the area within which they work. At AOC, for example, we know that math and technology are the core skill sets of the company. Those STEM-based skills are things that we want to share with these youth who are trying to turn their lives around. And the way that we have chosen to do that, to help them think differently, to think creatively, to think critically, to make better decisions, is through the technology of 3D printing. 3D printing, or additive manufacturing, is the path that we have chosen to do this, because it includes so much within the STEM disciplines.
AOC is a technology and product company. It's critical for us to develop those resources and find people that have expertise in STEM, if you will, educational background. As you know, the internet and things like 3D printing are technology interfaces and are evolving in the way we're going to do business in the future. So having those type of people on board, creative thinkers, proactive, tremendous educational background is what's needed in today's environment. Those are the kind of employees we're looking at AOC, but also that's what we're trying to do in the 3D printing is grow those people into those creative thinkers, into new technology, because that's the direction that this economy is going to.
Alan, I think those key points are really important, and the reason is because we have actually added a vocational orientation day to what we're doing with the at-risk kids, so they can actually see vocational opportunities as well as educational opportunities within not only additive manufacturing, but within all of the STEM disciplines. And because I'd like to talk a little bit more actually about what we call our 3D ThinkLink initiative. And that initiative is focused on using additive manufacturing or 3D printing in order to teach these children how to make better decisions, how to think critically, because the decisions they've been making in the past have led them down the wrong path. And the things that they learn in additive manufacturing or in 3D printing give them the opportunity to learn to think differently and to identify that if you fail at something, it's just the next step in a process that takes you to success. And so those are key components of what we're working toward, not only helping them think differently, but also understanding that there are jobs available to them. There's a magnitude of jobs in the prototype industry, we're seeing things evolve in the fashion industry. The latest technology is showing us 3D printing in confectionery products, so baking, and there's just a multitude of opportunities available that we want to show these kids that just these initial steps can take them down many paths that will provide a positive and creative future for them.